All right, let's get right into it. For years, there's been this myth that you need absolutely perfect, flawless English to pass the Cambridge B2 first exam. Today, we're going to show you why believing that is probably the biggest mistake you can make.
So let me ask you straight up, do you think perfect fluency is the only way? Because if you do, it's like you're choosing to play this game on the hardest possible difficulty setting, without even realizing there's an easier way to win.
And this idea right here is the absolute key. The B2 First isn't just a test, it's a game. And like any good game, it has rules, it has patterns, and yes, it even has a few exploits. The secret isn't to just play harder, it's to play smarter.
And that's our entire goal here today. By analyzing thousands of successful exams, we found the patterns, we found the cheat codes, and I mean the real strategic techniques that you can use to walk in and ace this thing. So, what's the fundamental secret? It's that the exam is a system. It's not what you think. It wasn't just built to see how good your English is. No. It was designed by educational psychologists and linguists to test for very specific things.
What that really means is the exam is looking for specific patterns of communication. It's not about whether you know every obscure word in the dictionary. It's about showing you can use the language in predictable ways. And once you understand that system, you can give the examiners exactly what they're trained to look for. First things first, let's hack the scoreboard. Cambridge tells everyone you need 160 points to pass. Fine. But what they don't shout about is how you can get those points. Understanding this is your first real strategic advantage.
Now look at this. This is where it gets really interesting. See how the scores are distributed? Writing and speaking are actually worth a little more. This means you don't have to be a superstar in every single part. If listening is your weak spot, for instance, you can totally make up for it by aiming higher in writing. It's all about managing your strengths and weaknesses.
This table breaks it down perfectly. For reading and use of English, you should think in terms of survival thresholds. For example, those fill-in-the-blank closed sections, just aiming for 6 out of 8 is a fantastic, solid goal. Or look down at the keyword transformations. You only really need to nail 4 out of 6. If you can hit these minimums consistently, your chances of passing shoot way up. See? It's not about perfection, it's about tactical consistency.
So let's take that same mindset and apply it to the individual papers. We're going to decode them and find the patterns you can exploit in reading, writing, and listening.
Okay, get ready for a huge aha moment. The myth of the reading section is that it's this giant vocabulary test. The reality? Nope. It's actually testing your knowledge of about 200 of their favorite predictable collocations. You know, words that just naturally go together, like make a decision. Cambridge uses these same pairs over and over and over again. So focus your energy on learning those, not on memorizing a dictionary.
Right, the listening paper is designed to trick you. It just is. But the good news is they always use the same kinds of traps. Trap number 1. You'll hear the exact words from a wrong answer, but they'll be used in the wrong context. Trap 2. An answer will sound right, but it's only partially correct. And Trap 3. They'll give you correct info that refers to the past when the question is about the future. Learn to spot these 3 traps and you'll sail right past. The essay can feel pretty scary, but honestly, it's just a formula. It's a recipe. You follow these steps, a short intro where you state your opinion. Then you give your strongest argument with an example. Then a second argument, also with an example. Then, and this is the part a lot of people miss, you quickly mention the other point of view and explain why you disagree. And finally, a solid conclusion. This 5-step plan is basically a checklist that guarantees you hit all the points the examiner is looking for.
Now for the speaking test. You've got to change how you think about this. It's not a relaxed chat, it's a live performance. The examiners are your audience, and they have been trained to look for very specific signals that you're a competent speaker. Your job is to give them those signals loud and clear. For part 2, when you have to talk about the 2 photos, don't just describe what you see. Use the SCEC formula. First, briefly describe the situation. Then, compare the 2 pictures. What's similar, what's different. Next, especulación, or speculation. Guess what the people might be feeling or thinking. And finally, make a connection to a bigger idea or maybe a personal experience. This structure turns a simple description into a really thoughtful analysis. In part 3, where you're talking with your partner, your goal is to build a conversation, not just take turns talking. Using phrases like building on what you just said, or that's a really interesting perspective, these are pure gold. They are direct signals to the examiner that you know how to communicate and collaborate on an advanced level.
And for the final part, part 4, please try not to sound like a textbook. The highest marks always go to answers that feel authentic. So here's the trick. Instead of starting with a big, general, abstract statement, start small. Start with a quick personal experience, and then use that to expand to your bigger, general point. It just sounds so much more natural and sophisticated.
So, we've gone over the strategies for every single paper. But this last hack, this might be the most powerful one of all. And you know what? It has nothing to do with English. It's purely psychological. Controlling your mind on exam day is your ultimate advantage.
Anxiety is your absolute enemy in an exam room. It kills your memory, it ruins your focus. So here's a simple tool, the 4-7-8 breathing technique. In between sections of the exam, just breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 7, and then breathe out slowly for 8 seconds. It's a physiological reset button that is scientifically proven to calm your nerves and boost your brain power.
So, there you have it. The secrets are out. The system is revealed. The B2 First is a game with clear rules and predictable patterns. And now that you have the cheat codes, the only question left is, how are you going to play?